Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this week's sports podcast. It's Friday, 23rd of September 2022. Summer is over and autumn is here. And as we finish the summer with a somewhat sad note, a sadness tinged note with the passing of the Queen, it's time to talk about the Halifax Cricket League Premier Division champions, and they are Copley. They won the championship by 4 points in the end for Millingworth on a exciting final day where we saw a change of position at the bottom as well, but it was convincing win for Copley. They beat Whalley by 10 wickets. As a consequence of that result, Whalley were relegated because the Triangle managed to win their game. As I suggested last week, they still had a chance of escaping relegation, and Triangle managed to beat Woodland Foot by 6 wickets in the end, so they stayed up. Whalley went down. We'll start with Copley and their game against Whalley then, and Whalley batted first. They scored 148 all out. Ian Shaw scored 42 not out. Connor Mitchell was run out for 36. They were the two main contributors with the bat for Whalley. And with the ball, it was Ian Hartley. He had a good end to the season, took 4 for 27. Ollie Thorpe also took 3 wickets. And when it came round to Copley's turn to bat, they knocked off the target without any problem at all. They scored 149 without a loss. Gav Whip, 80 not out, and the aforementioned Ollie Thorpe, 59 not out, capping off a fantastic season for him. A convincing victory, and with that the title wrapped up. Illingworth, to their credit in their game, fought to the end. They put SPCI, I think, chose the bat actually, scored 147 for 9. Aaron scored 61. He was the only real contributor with a bat for SBCI. Luke Brooksby took 4 for 30. That took him past 600 wickets for the club. I think it puts him 7th on the list now altogether. Still some way to go to the record. I think it's about 1100, but he may not make it. Illingworth, 149 for 7. So they've won with more than 10 overs to spare with 3 wickets left. And Gas Fellows, 44 this time. Not his best score this season, but he has smashed the record for the most runs scored in the season by a player for Illingworth. He scored 1,577 in the season, which is over 300 more than the closest rival, which is Keith Smith, who was on the list about 10 times out of the top 20 season scorers. But yeah, Gaz was again the top scorer on this final game. Lewis Firth took 4 for 29 for SBCI, but it wasn't enough. Illingworth won the game, but it wasn't enough. They secured runners-up position, but well done to Illingworth on a good season, a really good season. Just coming up short, so I'm sure they'll reflect and think we've done well, could have won it, but you know, they've had a good season. Bradshaw managed to secure 3rd place in the table. They beat Booth by 22 runs. Bradshaw 238 for 7. Matt Crowther opening the batting, fantastic 122. Great way to finish the season for him. Adam Forbes scored 48, and Usman Mania scored 47. They were the main contributors with the bat for Bradshaw. Nigel Horsfall took 4 for 66 for Booth. In response, they put up a brave fight to Booth. They were 216 all out in the end. John Midgley was the main man, 65 not out. He's had a good end to the season, well, a couple of good scores at the end there. Johnny Lister doing most of the damage with the ball for Bradshaw. He took 5 for 36. Sorby Bridge, they beat Thornton by 34 runs. Sorby Bridge batted first, scored 229 all out. And it was Chris Metcalf, again, a good finish to the season for him. He scored 71, we'll be pleased with that. And John Brown's contributed 47 and James Taylor 45 not out. And it was Brad Weatherhead with 4 for 38, keeping Thornton in the game. Thornton will have been reasonably happy with that situation at halfway, but they fell short. They scored 195 all out. Ross Parr, 61, was top scorer, 33 balls. Josh Hutchinson, the dangerous Josh Hutchinson, who's had a fantastic season, scored 40 off 14 balls. That was probably the difference. Getting him out at 40 probably made a difference in the result. And it was Karam Shazad who took 4 for 39 for Sorby Bridge, who got them over the line. So that's really good finish to the season for both Bradshaw and for Sorby Bridge. The game we mentioned about Triangle winning to stay up, they played at Luddenfoot. Ludfoot scored 225 all out. Tom Stott 77, Jacob Whitehouse 45, top scorers for Ludfoot. And it was Curtis Whippy who had a big influence in this game. He took 6 wickets for 95, and that was expensive, 11 overs for 95, but he got 6 wickets. And when it came down to batting, it was him. It was also Curtis Whippy. 228 for 4 triangle put on the board to win the match, and it was Curtis with 69 not out, so he had a big impact on this game overall and helped side stay up. Also Adam Stocks, the skipper, he scored 68, so he'll have played his part. He's played his part there all season, and he's done enough there to help his team stay up, so that's really good for the guys at Triangle. And then the final game of the season to look at was Great Horton Park Chapel against Myvenroyd. Great Horton Park Chapel scored 221 all out. Friend of the channel, Brownie, Chris Brownie, was the top scorer with 47. And there was also Fahad Shabir, he scored 44. They were the two guys who scored the most runs for Great Horton Park Chapel. And Jahangir took 3 for 32 for Myvenroyd. And then Myvenroyd knocked off the total. They got 225 for 7. Good season for Tom Conway overall. He scored 84 not out in this game to get them over the line towards the end. It was a lower sort of middle order partnership he had with Runa Rizak, who also contributed 40. But saw in the end a reasonably comfortable victory for Myvenroyd. And that's where we are at the end of Halifax Cricket League season. So next season we'll be joined by Oxenhope and Blackley. They've come up from the first division, replacing the aforementioned Worley and the Great Horton Park Chapel. So hope to see you guys back again soon, especially the guys at Great Horton Park Chapel, being very sporting and engaged well with the channel. And good luck to both teams there, and let's see how Oxenhope, or Oxenhopeless as people call them, I've just got to come out first comedy name, and Blackley get on and return to their to the top division. So that's where we are with the Halifax Cricket League for now. And we'll be back with more during the winter. Possibly I'll talk to you more about the podcast at the end, but that's it for now. In terms of England cricket, they're playing in Pakistan in a 7-match T20 series at the moment. It's 1 game all after yesterday's game, and the third match is this afternoon at 3:30. 1 match, it's 1-1 so far. England winning the first game, thanks mainly to Alex Hales' 53. The second game, Moeen Ali scored 55, and with a total of 199 on the board, they would have felt fairly confident. But we saw a record partnership by Baba Azam and Mohammad Rizwan. They scored 203 without losing a wicket to win the game yesterday and level the series. It's not the first time they've done something like this. I think they broke their own record. It was 197, the previous record, which was also held by the same pairing. So that'll boost their confidence. The third game, like I say, is today in Karachi. I think it's Karachi. Some of them are in Karachi, and the rest of the games are being held elsewhere. But they're very formidable. Pakistan in Karachi. They've got a very good record there. So England will be hoping that the slightly inexperienced bowling attack can strike back today and put England back in front in the series. And we'll update you on the. I think it'll be probably over the series more or less by the time we talk about it next week, if we talk about it next week. But we'll see about that anyway. And then we've got the county championships to talk about. Surrey wrapped up the county championship Division 1 title yesterday with victory by 10 wickets over Yorkshire. He only needed 56 runs to win the match, and he did it in 6 overs. Yorkshire bowled out twice. Disappointing performance. Yorkshire now need to turn their attention to the last game of the season against Gloucestershire, a game which they need to get a victory to ensure they don't get relegated from the county championship. Warwickshire county championship winners last year going down, sadly for them. Controversial game this week, Essex and Lancashire. Lancashire winning by 38 runs in a very low scoring game which was over in 4 sessions. Alistair Cook scored 40 for Essex in the first innings. I think he might be the top scorer in the entire game. They still lost. Lancashire was 7 for 6 at one point in their second innings, recovered to score 70 odd all out, and then they bowled Essex out for 50 something as well. So really some questions to be asked about the pitch there, and there should be investigation by the ECB into that, and they may face some kind of penalty, may Essex, for that, but we'll see about that in the future. So yeah, like I say, Yorkshire needs to get the act together for next week against Gloucestershire. They could be going down. Let's hope that's not the case, and we'll update you on that as and when. Okay, next we move on to football, and it's FC Halifax Town first of all. They're struggling a little bit at the moment. Really poor result last Saturday in front of the BT Sport cameras. A 5-1 defeat away to Aldershot, not what they were looking for. Really disappointing. 2-1 down at half time. Not too bad. 2 good headers from Aldershot and a good header by Manny Desreva for Town. Keep them in the game. Second half, it just capitulated, and it culminated in Jesse Deborah, who's been really strong at the back for Town this season, just losing probably concentration or maybe frustration, and just pulling back the player by the neck and giving away a penalty to make it that was for the 5th goal. But even he looked fed up. and he's put everything in this season so far. But we've got to strike back tomorrow away to Eastleigh. Tough game. 2 home games come up for that, but got to fear for Chris Millington's future. I think if he doesn't get good results out of his next 2 or 3 games, if it's another heavy defeat tomorrow, he might not even make it past that. But I like to think he will be given a bit more time. But some of the players need to stand up as well. Some of the new signings that are coming haven't been as good as they should be, really. It looks a bit disjointed as well. So it's a case of, is it Millington? Is it the players? We'll find out in time, of course, but Town certainly need a better result tomorrow, as they're now back in the bottom 4. We crawled away up to 15th after the previous victory, and then lost 6 places, with the final place being lost to Torquay simply because of goal difference, because the number of goals they conceded in the game at Aldershot. So not good times at the moment. Let's hope things pick up in the next week or 2. In the Premier League, we've still got Arsenal being chased by Manchester City at the top of the table. We've also got Tottenham up there. They had a 6-2 victory against Leicester, who are rooted to the bottom of the table with 1 single point. I have to say, I thought Brendan Rodgers may be sacked this week. He's still there at the moment, so interested to see how much longer he gets there. But obviously the international break's on at the moment, and we'll come on to the Nations League stuff in a minute. Roberto De Zerbi is the new manager at Brighton. He's taken over from Graham Potter, who's moved on to Chelsea. So let's see how he gets on. He's got a track record abroad in Europe, quite a good track record, including doing pretty well at Shakhtar Donetsk. His previous job where he had to leave because of the Ukraine situation. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he gets on in the Premier League. And good luck and welcome to Roberto. Like I say, the international breaks on at the moment, and we have the Nations League games. England play Italy tonight. Tough games coming up. They've got that tonight, and they've got Germany on Monday. I think Germany's at Wembley. Tonight's game's away. England need to beat these 2 teams to try and stay in the Group A if they want to stay in Group A of the Nations League, or face relegation to Section B. The England players this season don't seem to be performing so well. In the past, Harry Kane's been the one with a slow start to the season. The other players have been quick out of the blocks. This time it seems Harry Kane is quick out of the blocks, and all the rest of the players are slow out of the blocks. There have been some poor performances. Hopefully Jack Grealish's confidence will be up after scoring for Man City at Wolves last week, but some of the other players like Declan Rice haven't been performing at the normal level. Mason Mount's been anonymous really in the games I've seen. Calvin Phillips is injured, unfortunately for him. He may be in a race against time to make it for the World Cup. He's having shoulder surgery after having a recurrent problem when he even went back to when he was at Leeds, so let's hope Calvin can get himself fit in time for Qatar. But yeah, vital games for England. Wales lost 2-1 to Belgium last night. They put up a good fight, to be fair to them. Scotland had a good victory the night before against Ukraine. They won 3-0, top the group, and looked like they could secure themselves a playoff place for the Euro 2024 competition already, which would give them a big boost of confidence. They played really well. Even Lyndon Dykes scored 2. I don't really rate Lyndon Dykes, but he scored twice. But I think they were both headers. The first one certainly was, but it was a good performance. They need to try and beat Ukraine and return and get a draw, I think, against Poland to guarantee that space in the playoffs and get promoted to Group A, I think it is, in the Section A in the Nations League. So see how they get on. I think Ireland both play. I can't remember if Ireland play tonight. One of them play tonight and one tomorrow, or both tomorrow. But I've not really looked into it too much. There seems to be a little bit less interest in the Nations League this time. And I think partly that's down to the fact that the broadcasting is being all over the shop, because it's now with Premier Sports. A lot of people don't have Premier Sports, and the rest of the games have been shown on Channel 4. The England games are on Channel 4, so don't forget tonight's game and Monday's game are both on Channel 4. I think kick-off's 7:45. Okay, moving on from that now, and we're going to talk about Rugby League, and it was a disappointing end to the season for Halifax Panthers. They've had such a good season, and they played York in the playoffs last Sunday, and they came up short, losing 26-24 after being 22-12 up at half-time. Including a hat-trick of tries in the first half from Lachlan Walmsley, who's been a revelation for the Panthers this season. Him and Jouffre have made a massive difference, I think, but the all-round team performance has been really good. But as a one-off playoff game, anything happened. York put up a brave fight. They just knew they had to come out and start the second half and get back in the game, and that's what we did with a couple of quick tries, level it up at 22-all, sneaked in front 24-22, then 26-24. And then Joe Keys had a chance to level the scores to 26-all, and his kick hit the post, which is a disappointing way to finish the season. York now going to face Lee, who beat them 100 points to 4 not so long ago, and they're probably going to get beat again. And Batley will beat Barrow in the other playoff game by 18 points to 8 at Barrow. They will face Featherstone. I can't say anything but a Lee versus Featherstone final, but we'll know more after this weekend. So moving on next, we're going to talk about Speedway, and we have a new Speedway World Champion after last weekend's round in Majula in Sweden. Bartosz Zmarzlik has retained, well, he hasn't retained, he's won the title for a third time. The title he lost last season to Artem Laguta, who unfortunately wasn't able to defend his title, but it's 3 out of 4 seasons now that Zmarzlik's won. He looks he's been a comfortable winner really. He always was a favourite for the start of the season. It's been a bit of a stroll in the park really for him, so well done to Bartosz on his third title, and want to celebrate that at the last round next Saturday in Torun, Poland, where there's plenty still going on for the minor places, for the medal places. Leon Madsen looks fairly secure in second place with a silver medal, but both Dan Bewley and Robert Lambert are in the fight for the bronze medal. Talking of Bewley, he became British champion last Sunday after going through the card at Bellevue's National Speedway Stadium. He won all 5 of his heats, 15-point maximum in the qualifying heats, and then there was a comfortable victory in the final as well. Well done to Bellevue's Tom Brennan, finished second, getting the silver medal, and also good to see Craig Cook back performing something like his best, finishing third and getting the bronze medal there. We've got the playoffs sorted out now in the UK as well in the Premiership. After last night, Sheffield beat Bellevue 57-33. Bellevue were minus Max Frick. Convincing victory for Sheffield. They will now be finished top of the table, and they will face Wolverhampton. The first leg of their playoff is on Monday at Monmore, and the second leg will be on Thursday the 6th of October at Allerton. And in the other semi-final, Ipswich face Bellevue. Ipswich are at home next Thursday the 29th, and then Bellevue's home leg will be on Monday the 3rd of October. So 2 interesting battles there to look forward to. And I think everybody felt that Ipswich were going to finish top, but because of the way the season's not finished in an unsatisfactory way, because we've had such a good summer, but they've managed not to get all the fixtures in, and including Sheffield v Ipswich. Some people are arguing that last night's match at Sheffield should really have been Sheffield versus Ipswich to decide who was top. That would have been a more satisfactory way, but to not get all the fixtures in a shortened season when there's only 6 teams is ridiculous. And maybe it's because of the fact we have so many riders riding per board, determining when fixtures can be ridden. It's a problem, so we need to look at that for next year. But it does shoot itself in the foot sometimes, the speedway, especially domestic speedway. It's not so bad at the world level. But yeah, that's where we are, and like I say, all the playoff game matches are going to be shown live on Eurosport, I believe, starting with the one at Monmore on Monday evening, so look forward to that one. In the World Stock Car, and last weekend we saw Craig Finnegan win the meeting final at Kings Lynn. He won both his heats to final, and he can think 11 from the lap handicap in the Grand National. He's not in the shootout series, which was the first round. The second round is this Saturday at Mildenhall, and on Sunday we have a World Championship qualifying round for next year at Northampton. Just over 30 cars booked in for both meetings. One of the main talking points from last weekend was the appearance of Freddie Flintoff as a celebrity driver. It was kept hush-hush until just before the meeting. Reason being is that Top Gear didn't want anything leaking out about it. It's going to be shown a forthcoming or future issue of Top Gear, so keep your eye on the BSCDA website and also Top Gear for details of when that's going to be shown. He actually performed fairly well, to be honest, from what I've seen of the footage, so fair play to Freddie. He got stuck in and was on racing pace in 2 out of the 3 races that I saw at least, so well done to him. Okay, moving on now to NFL. The NFL season's getting underway now. We've had 2 rounds. The third round of game week 3 this week. In the Thursday night football, the Browns beat the Steelers 29 points to 17 last night. Audio hours out this morning UK time. The pre-season favourites, the Bills, have won both their games so far. Alongside the Bills in the AFC, we've got the Dolphins and the Chiefs there unbeaten as well. And in the NFC, we've got the Eagles, the Giants and the Buccaneers. They've won both their matches so far. So Tom Brady will be there looking to add another Super Bowl ring to his total after saying he was going to retire, but no, he's still there. So we'll see how that develops during the season. And then finally, we're going to talk about tennis, and I think it's appropriate that a sparkling career comes to an end today. A very successful career. Roger Federer plays his last match today in the Laver Cup, which is in London, so it's nice to see that he's playing in England in his last match. I think ideally he might have wanted to finish his career at Wimbledon, but his knee injury he sustained has left in a position where he feels he can't play singles tennis any longer, and that's why he's playing doubles today alongside Rafa Nadal, representing Team Europe against Team World. Team Europe's captained by Bjorn Borg, Team World captained by John McEnroe, which I think is really appropriate as well for this occasion. You may have seen the Twitter photo last night of Roger with Rafa Nadal, who's playing alongside today. Him and Rafa are taking on Francis Tiafoe and Jack Sock. But they went on a boat cruise down the Thames, and it was Roger and Rafa Nadal alongside Novak Djokovic and Andy Murray, like the four great players of the modern era of tennis, all together in their tuxedo dinner suits, cruising down the Thames and going out for dinner, which was really nice. A nice touch for him. And all the best in retirement to Roger Federer. Has been probably the greatest player of all time, in my opinion. Other people will dispute that, but he's got to be up there. If not the best, he's one of the very best ever. So yeah, that's where we are with Roger's career. So good luck to him for the future. And just want to say that I'd like to thank all my subscribers, followers, for supporting this podcast while it's been running. It'll be a short hiatus after today whilst I consider where we go in the future. I don't think it's going to be the end, but I just need to look at how we do things. If anybody's got any feedback, any suggestions, things they want to see covered, or things I could change, please leave them in the comments either below on Facebook, on Twitter, or on YouTube. I'd like to especially thank the Halifax Cricket League and the guys at Bradshaw and Sorby Bridge, Myve and Royd, and Great Orton Park Chapel for their support in particular. And good luck to those guys for next season, whatever league they're in, of course. And that's about it for now. So I will be back at some point. I don't know when, but like I say, thank you for supporting me this far, and you'll see me somewhere in the future. Okay, thank you for now, and goodbye.